We're staying on security issues. Multiple sources, including the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, say the Kaduna Train attack could have been prevented if proactive measures had been taken by security forces. Commandant General of the Volunteer Security Group says they had gotten wind of the planned attack, but collaborative efforts with security forces to scuttle it were limited. Sifon Essien reports.
It's 3 days after the terror attack on the Kaduna-bound train, resulting in the death of at least 8 persons and more than 40 wounded. The search is on for the passengers unaccounted for, most of whom are believed to have been kidnapped by the assailants. This is coming amid allegations of ticket racketeering, which the management of the railway company has dismissed. Beyond this, it has also emerged that prior to the Monday attack, security forces had gotten wind that terror groups were planning an offensive on the railway. The leader of this volunteer group says its operatives also got heads up of the impending attack.
Yeah, we saw it coming because we have our people around. All this community from Abuja down to that place, all those villages, we have our people. But the problem we're having is, this is not the first time that it happens. This is the second time. And that second time that it happens, after small talk from here and there, everybody just relaxed. Knowing fully well that these people are prepared and are ready for this rail, to tamper with the rail line and even to bomb it.
Multiple sources in the security services say the attack could have been prevented if security forces had collaborated more effectively.
So you can see what happened. That initial, what do you call it, something they have done, should tell us that they are ready and they will still come back.
Even now, there are growing concerns of more terror attacks in the region. The military authorities are scaling up operations just as airstrikes have killed dozens of terrorists in locations a few kilometers from the scene of the train attack. For this group, grassroots policing remains the best option.
For volunteer organizations like this, these security challenges are daunting but surmountable, requiring a grassroots approach. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
Begin in the nation's capital, where the Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum has acknowledged the need to design a new strategy to tackle developing threats in the northwestern part of Nigeria. He made these remarks while speaking with State House correspondents after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in Abuja. The discussions between the two West African presidents had centered around security, economy, and other issues beneficial to both countries. President Bazoum thanked Nigeria for almost entirely funding operations of the multinational Joint Task Force, which has addressed common threats of terrorism in the Lake Chad region. He also thanked President Buhari for ensuring the takeoff of the Kano-Katsina-Maradi Railway project, a project he believes will integrate the economies of Nigeria and Niger.
Nigerian security and Niger security, which I provide some logistic and cars for them in order to ease their operation. What we are doing is that if we have any information about bandits that coming from either exit Niger, then we are going to push them from Nigeria. Then we alert the Niger security
on the use of the platform of the MNJTF to defeat the insurgents who are harboring on the shores of the Lake Chad. That operation is now currently undergoing, and I think such kind of operation is needed to ensure that the insurgents are defeated in the shores of the Lake Chad.
Away from security, let's turn to judicial matters. The Court of Appeal sitting in Enugu has upheld the decision of the Abakaliki High Court bordering on a defection of Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi and his deputy Kelechi Igwe from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. The lead judge, Justice Alpha Belgore, held that the appeal filed by the candidate of the APC in the 2019 governorship election, Senator Sonny Ogboji, lacked merit and that the cases cited are totally irrelevant to the matter brought before the court. Justice Belgore further pointed that the removal of Governor Mahi and his deputy lies in the hands of the legislature and must be in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. While citing Section 308 of the Constitution, the judge pointed out that no legal action can be taken against the sitting president, vice president, as well as sitting governor and his deputy. He therefore dismissed the appeal with a 200,000 naira fine against the appellant. And a high court in the Federal Capital Territory has launched its first ever affidavit registry management system. Now, this is to ensure accessibility in the application of affidavits anywhere in the FCT. Celestine Area reports.
Affidavits are similar to statutory declarations and witness statements made under oath. Under oath refers to making a commitment to the fact that the information in your statement is true, based on personal knowledge or belief, to be used in court or by another official institution. The affidavits are also known as notarized statement, statement under oath, or sworn statement. In modern-day society, challenges faced when applying for an affidavit varies from delay of deponent time, extortion, to impersonation of commissioner of oath. To bridge this gap, the FCT High Court has officially launched its first affidavits registry management system. The ARMS will aid the process of assessing, verifying, and confirming affidavits sworn by the deponents. It will prevent financial leakage and ensure the protection of information of all users. Deponents need not spend time in court, as they just have to apply online through arms.fcthighcourt.gov.ng, after which a physical appearance is needed by the deponent in court as required by the Evidence Act.
The process is made available to all such that one does not need the help or assistance from touts or jobbers.
Let's extend the convenience that we have put in place today. And let's now go the next step, which is to validate. I shouldn't be able to come to your court and be two people that you would confirm me to.
In line with our intention to continue to sustain a mutually beneficial working relationship with the court, I take this opportunity to inform you that our legal secretariat is presently reviewing the FCT laws, a critical instrument in your jurisdiction, which will be made available to you as soon as possible.
We are very delighted that at least for the first time in history, we're going to provide a solution that will form the basis of solving the problems that we've had in the judiciary for a very long time.
Litigants and deponents are becoming increasingly aware for the need of ease of service through a transparent and accountable process. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
And staying in Abuja, the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives has threatened to issue warrants of arrest against the heads of 17 subsidiaries of NNPC Limited. But the agency's Chief Executive Officer, Mele Kyari, insists the affected companies have nothing to hide and promised to produce them next week. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
The Auditor General of the Federation's report had alleged financial infractions by the 17 subsidiaries of the NNPC Limited between 2014 and 2019. One of such was that involving about 107 million barrels of crude, which could not be accounted for in 2018. To answer to the queries, the Public Accounts Committee had invited the agencies several times, but none honored its call. The committee queries the continued absence of the heads of the companies, insinuating they might indeed be hiding something from Nigerians.
They responded that they cannot appear before the parliament except they have the nod of the group managing director. It's on that basis that we invited the GMD to come along with them so they can answer audit queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation.
The Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, is before the lawmakers to answer to their inquiries. He says neither the agency nor its subsidiaries has anything to hide.
NNPC has nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide from Nigerians. As a demonstration of that, Mr. Chairman, the same audited account that you have, we have published it for the generality of Nigerians to see, read, and comment on it.
But the committee says the companies must answer for themselves.
Subsidiaries, they must appear before this parliament to answer the queries raised by the Auditor General of the Federation. They have to bear their father's name. And sir, with due respect and humility, the NNPC is not in a position to dictate to the parliament how the parliament conducts its business.
The Auditor General has submitted the report to parliament that these subsidiaries, this company owned by Nigerians, have refused, underlined, capitalized, refused to do what they are supposed to do. And the Constitution says clearly, take them to parliament. Sir,
at the end of the day's deliberations, the committee was able to extract an assurance from the NNPC chief that he would appear before the lawmakers with the heads of the affected companies next week. Jokiatsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has again expressed Nigeria's commitment to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 and the African Union's Agenda 2063. The Vice President was represented by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning at the two-day African Union Capacity Building Workshop on Africa's voluntary national reviews for the 2022 High-Level Political Forum in Abuja. He says attaining these goals will help transform Nigeria and the continent at large. Moyo Thomas reports.
This is a capacity building workshop with representatives from 22 African countries and the SDG focal persons across the country. The workshop is geared toward supporting the national capacities of member states. This is in order to generate outcomes on the implementation of sustainable development goals, especially on the need to domesticate this at national and subnational levels.
Your active participation at this workshop is a clear demonstration of the genuine commitment. Discussion during this workshop will undoubtedly equip African countries with the tool to better mainstream the SDGs and the African Union Agenda 2063 into our policy, programs, and plans.
With the core mandate to ensure that policies and practices of participating member states conform to the agreed political, economic, and corporate governance values, codes and standards contained in the African Union Declaration on Democracy, Political, Economic, and Corporate Governance.
COVID-19 and its impact on economies across the continent has been a concern, considering how it could derail plans towards achieving SDG 2030 and AU Agenda 2063. The meeting considered institutional and political fragilities of member states.
Instructively, the recently approved and launched National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 aligns with the SDG goals and then the AU Agenda 2063.
While countries are still figuring out exit and recovery strategies from COVID-19, the 2030 Agenda and Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, remain imperative to address this shock and its consequent daunting effects on humanity.
Achieving SDG 2030 and AU Agenda 2063 has power to transform lives of citizens and attain development on the continent. It is important that all states of the country are aware and in line with achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, which is what this workshop aims to achieve. Moyo Thomas, TVC News.
And let's now turn to Osun State, where the governor, Adegboyega Oyetola, has approved the upgrade of the State College of Education, Ilesha, to a full-fledged university. He said the sustainability plan for the upgrade of the institution is being worked out. Governor Oyetola made the announcement during the inauguration of Ijeshaland Geriatric Center built in Ilesha for the treatment of health issues common with the elderly. TVC News correspondent Rafiu Hamid reports.
Here is the Ijesha Geriatric Center, a $1 billion project. The idea of the project was conceived in 2020, and now the center has been completed and equipped. It was put together by sons and daughters of Ijeshaland without any input from both the federal and the state governments.
Motive for establishing the second geriatric center in Nigeria is to improve on the healthcare access of our elderly.
The hospital will specialize in the treatment of health issues that are common in the elderly.
This project is a standalone project
that will look after the health of people 60 years and above. And apart from that, we also have an immunization building so that we can vaccinate people and make sure that vaccine-preventable illnesses like COVID and so on are eliminated in our land.
What we are doing today is further strengthen the relationship among the sons and daughters of Ijeshaland. I congratulate the sons and daughters of Ijeshaland, both home and in diaspora.
For me, it's a celebration again of the Ijesha indomitable spirit of self-help.
The governor says the project is complementary to his administration's investment in health.
Let me remind us that the strength and usefulness of this center and the good use to which it is put. May I therefore implore our people to visit this facility for their personal health care, while also urging us all to ensure its maintenance.
The announcement of upgrade of the State College of Education, Ilesha, to a university status by the governor was received with joy at the event.
So that he has done it shows that he's a caring governor and he has our support 110%.
Thank God that it made it possible. He made it possible. We are now a university town.
He's a listening governor. He hearkened to our request. We've been on this university upgrade for 8 years.
The 1 billion naira Ijesha Geriatric Center is the second of its kind in Nigeria and is expected to be handed over to the management of Obafemi Awolowo University in Hospital, Ile-Ife, for use. Rafiq Hamid, TVC News, Ilesha.
To other news in the southwest, authorities at the Muritala Mohammed Airport in Lagos say they are improving the sanitary condition of the restroom in the terminal following complaints that they weren't conducive for passengers. Airport users, particularly at the MMA in Lagos, have complained about toilet facilities, poor air conditioning, aviation security, among others. The airport authority may not be ignorant of this, leading to the fresh efforts to address the need.
Actually, we received some complaints from the public, and we decided, in our own kind of responsibilities to our passengers. Public are very terrible, damaging, and everything like that. So we do all these things on a daily basis, but to ensure that all are clean at once, we decided to carry out a thorough and general. I want to assure you that a normal follow-up, we're taking care of, we do it every time. We make sure that everything is going on right, very clean, sanitized,
And now to climate predictions. Increasing frequency of extreme weather events will continue, with days of extremely high rainfall amounts, which may result in flooding. And that's according to the Lagos Commissioner for Environment, Tunji Bello, during a media briefing on the seasonal climate predictions for the state. Environment correspondent Esther Makmariola reports.
The rains are here again, and for a coastal city like Lagos, which is vulnerable to climate change, this is the time to take strategic steps to limit its impacts. As part of efforts to prepare residents ahead of the likely consequences of the rains, the Lagos State Ministry of the Environment, in a media briefing, revealed that the state will experience normal rainfall, but cautioned residents living in low-lying areas to move to higher grounds to prevent loss of lives and property.
Towards ensuring a flood-free and hygienic environment in the state, the ministry has embarked on an all-year-round drainage maintenance for effective and efficient flood control, in addition to an efficient, sustainable solid waste management system. In the same vein, we are determined to maintain the long-established synergy and partnership with Ogun-Osun River Basin Authority, which has ensured control and monitoring of the steady and systemic release of water from Oyon Dam to prevent flooding of the downstream reaches of Ogun River.
Speaking on the concerns of rising sea levels due to climate change, the officials here say the state government is taking drastic measures to ensure the Atlantic Ocean doesn't take over the coastal city.
So the state government is in the process of properly predicting through engineering studies this impact and which areas are likely to be affected and what are the mitigation measures to be put in place.
How much we do now, how much we have spent to claim the sea. In the past, when the federal government was taking it under President Obasanjo, there was a year they voted 9 billion. They went to pour sand on the Atlantic Ocean. Within 6 months, the sands were eaten up. That was when Lagos State government said, leave it for us, we'll take it over. And that was how Eco Atlantic replaced it. Have you seen any erosion from that Babi since then? So, and we are going further. It's a very expensive venture.
In the meantime, residents were asked to desist from indiscriminate disposal of plastic waste, even as the state revealed that its flood control measures have been stepped up to contain any imminent heavy rainfall. Esther Mopariola, TVC News, Lagos.